What did Jesus do during the 3 days between his death and resurrection? Where did he go during this time? According to the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus was crucified for about 6 hours before he passed away. In his final moments, he uttered the words, "It is finished," as recorded in John 19:30, then bowed his head and surrendered his spirit. His body remained on the cross only for a short time before it was taken down and prepared for burial by Joseph of Arimathea, with the assistance of Nicodemus, one of his followers. 3 days later, Jesus' body and spirit were reunited, and he rose from the dead. After his resurrection, he first appeared to Mary Magdalene and later to his disciples before ascending to heaven. Many have wondered what happened in those 3 days between his death and resurrection. Where did Jesus go? What did he do? This episode aims to address these questions. The Bible, especially the Synoptic Gospels, does not provide a detailed account of Jesus' activities during those 3 days, also known as the harrowing of hell or the descent into hell. The Gospels focus more on the events leading up to Jesus' crucifixion and his resurrection. The period between his death and resurrection is more often rooted in theological interpretations and traditions rather than explicit biblical narratives. One of the clearest indications of Jesus' whereabouts during those 3 days can be found in his conversation on the cross. According to Luke 23:42, Jesus was crucified between two thieves. One of them asked him to remember him when he entered his kingdom. To this, Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." This suggests that after his death, Jesus went to paradise or heaven. This makes sense because Jesus committed his spirit into the hands of God, which, as we understand, could only be a place of bliss and eternal love, heaven. However, there is another interesting passage regarding Jesus' whereabouts in 1 Peter 3:18-20. It says, "For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, to those who were disobedient long ago, when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built. In it, only a few people, 8 in all, were saved through water." This passage can be interpreted in two ways. First, it could mean that sometime between his death and resurrection, Jesus went to hell or Hades and made some type of announcement to the imprisoned spirits there. These spirits could be either demonic or human, or even errant angels. It is likely that the spirits mentioned in the passage are fallen angels, angels who were imprisoned for violating God's law, along with Lucifer, who deceived them and led them in rebellion against God. The reference to the flood of Noah indicates that this violation occurred before Noah's time. Although the passage does not specify what Jesus told these imprisoned spirits, it seems unlikely that it would have been a message of redemption, since angels cannot be saved, as per Hebrews 2:16. Instead, it is more likely that Jesus proclaimed and declared his victory over Satan and his hosts. From this perspective, Jesus went to hell to announce his triumph and declare his victory over death and Satan. Another biblical passage that addresses Jesus' activities in the 3 days between his death and resurrection is Ephesians 4:8-10. It states, "When he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people." What does he ascended mean except that he also descended to the lower earthly regions? He who descended is the very one who ascended higher than all the heavens in order to fill the whole universe. As Paul referenced Psalm 68:18, he indicated that when Jesus ascended on high, he took many captives. This has been interpreted to mean that Jesus, after securing their salvation on the cross, gathered all the redeemed who were in paradise and led them to their permanent dwelling in heaven. These were figures like Abraham, David, Joshua, Daniel, Lazarus, the thief on the cross, and everyone else who had been justified by faith. He led them from Hades, the realm of the dead, to their new spiritual home. Another way to interpret Ephesians 4 is that during the 3 days between his death and resurrection, Jesus defeated and bound our spiritual enemies, Satan, death, and the curse of sin. He then ascended on high, returning victoriously to heaven as God. This view is also supported by Matthew 12:40, which says, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." Finally, it's important to note that the exact details of what transpired during those 3 days are not explicitly outlined in the Bible. Various Christian traditions offer different perspectives on the matter. Yet we can rely on Jesus' own words. Today you will be with me in paradise. This gives us confidence to say that after proclaiming his victory over death and completing his work of redemption, Jesus went to paradise. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. God bless you.